One thing I've noticed when making my digital scrapbook pages is that I often use a ripped paper effect. I'm not sure how others do it, but today I'm going to show you my way of creating this effect in Photoshop. Hi digital scrapper friends, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Lydia with LS Creative Scrapbook Designs. I'm so glad you are joining me here in my studio today. Alright you guys, let's jump in. Let's start by creating a 12 by 12 inch document at 300 pixels per inch. Then open the digital paper you want to use for the ripped effect. Here I'm using a paper from Mystery Scraps Nature's Jewel Kit. Get the Move tool and then click and drag the paper onto your new document. Hold the space bar while dragging to center it right away. To create the torn shape, select the lasso tool. Click the Add to Selection icon and then set the feather to 0 pixel and check Anti-Alias. Now, click and drag across your paper to create the ripped shape. I'm simply going to rip from one side of the paper to the other. Once you reach the far end, loop back to the starting edge so that one half of the paper is selected. Okay, so now press Ctrl Shift I, Mac Command Shift I to invert the selection. And then press Backspace, Mac Delete key to remove the unwanted part. Press Ctrl D, Mac Command D to deselect. Get the lasso tool again. This time we will create the torn edge detail. In the tool options, click Add to Selection icon and then set the feather to 4 pixels. You may want to try some different number for the feather. Check Anti-Alias. Now let's click on the foreground color chip icon in the toolbar to open the color picker. I'm using a soft cream color. The hex code number is F9, F9, F5. And then click OK. In the Layers panel, click the Create a New Layer icon. On your document, draw your torn edge shape, starting from one end and looping back to close the selection. Stay close to the paper's edge. Okay. And this is how I'm going to do it. All right. Once you are happy with the shape, press Alt Backspace, Mac Option Delete to fill it with the foreground color. Press Ctrl D, Mac Command D to deselect. And then press Ctrl Alt G, Mac Command Option G to clip it to the paper layer. Now let's add texture to the torn edge. In the menu bar, go to Filter, Filter Gallery, and here in the Filter Gallery, select Texture, Texturizer. Set texture to canvas. Hold on, let me put it this way. Yeah. Okay, so set the scaling to 115% and relief to 8. Set the light to top and then click OK. Next, go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And here you can set the radius to, I'm going to set it to 1.6 pixels. Let me see. Let's try it. I'm going to try it like a little bit bigger. Yeah, I guess a 1.6 or 1.7 is good. And then click OK. In the Layers panel, click the FX icon and choose Drop Shadow. Here, set the blend mode to multiply and the shadow color to A3, A3, A2, A0. And then click OK. And this is if you want to follow along with me. You may want to use a different shadow color. And then the angle to 90 degrees, the distance to 2 pixels, the spread to 2%, and set the size to 2 pixels. All right, and then you just click OK. Before merging the layers, take a moment to check the placement of the torn edge. If needed, use the Move tool and the arrow keys to nudge it into place. I am going to leave it just the way it is. And also, make sure that you save your project first before doing anything else. Now, once you are happy, press Ctrl E, Mac Command E to merge the two layers together. Select the Eraser tool or press letter E to get the Eraser tool. And here from the drop-down menu in the tool options, choose Soft Round Brush. And then set the opacity like around 65% and the float to 35%. All right, now I'm going to resize the view. And here you can start erasing the edges of the paper to give it a more soft edge. And if you want to move your paper, the view of the paper, you can press spacebar, so that way it will be easy for you to move on to the next area. And here are some examples I made using the torn edges effect in my scrapbook layouts. I love how this effect adds a bit of extra dimension and subtle detail to a page that might otherwise feel a little flat. For these two layouts, I used the Nature Jewels and Refreshment kits by Mystery Scraps, which you can find on the OScrap website. As always, I will list all the materials I used in the description box below this video. The tag you see is from Kristin Cronin-Barrow's Mountaintail kit. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Have you ever created your own torn edge effect in a layout before? How did you guys do it? Please share in the comments so we can all learn from each other. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving it a like or leaving a comment. It really helps the channel grow, and I'd be so honored to have you join me here. Thanks again, and keep on scrapping.